Good morning, everyone. I think we're ready to go ahead and get started. We have a quorum of the commission here, so I will start with a quick roll call. Dr. Ampuma?
I am Dr. William Ampuma. I am a representative of the Energy Secretary, also a professor at New Mexico Tech.
Commissioner Bloom?
Yes, present, and I'm the designee of the Commissioner of Public Lands.
And we can note for the record that I'm here, Dylan Fuge, acting director of the OCD, and by statute also acting chair of the OCC. Before we start working through the agenda items, just so everyone's on the same page, from the published agenda, we had some tweaks because of some continuance of cases that were on the originally published agenda. The agenda we're operating off of is the one that was emailed around as the final agenda 3 days before the hearing. Also just want to announce sort of in announcements, we're having a switch in commission counsel. Our current commission counsel, Gabriel Smith, last day with the AG's office is tomorrow or today? Tomorrow. I wanted to thank him for the support, and I also wanted to introduce his successor, Emily Bowen, who recently joined the Open Government Division, and so she will be commission counsel going forward. And we'll make sure that contact information is available, kind of reflected in the minutes and things like that for folks who appear. And then last agenda item, and this is just a note. And that's just sort of a warning that there'll be some changes as we move around. So again, just pay attention to the meeting notices. And again, consistent with it all, we will have options for virtual participation by witnesses, counsel, other things like that. So all meetings will be accompanied by a WebEx login, consistent with prior practice. So that will be maintained going forward. And with that, I will kick us off to the first item on it, approval of the agenda for today's meeting. And again, that's the agenda that went out 3 days before. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Do a quick roll call. Commissioner Ampoma?
Approved.
Commissioner Bloom?
Approve.
You can note for the record my approval as well. We should have also circulated the meetings from the March 9th, 2023 meeting minutes. Do we have any comments or additions to those minutes? Otherwise, can I get a motion for approval?
Mr. Chair, I so move.
Approved. Second.
Commissioner Ampoma?
Approved.
Commissioner Bloom?
Approve.
Record notes that Commissioner Fuge also voted in the affirmative. I'm going to look to commission counsel, but I don't think there's any sort of need for a verbal report on the pending litigation update. I think it's covered in the agenda. We just had a substitution to counsel and no updates in the other pending case. So hearing none there, I'm going to move to the next, which are status conferences in a couple of pending cases before the commission. And I believe, I'm looking at the list. I think counsel for all are there. Attorney Hardy, I believe the first two cases, 14-720 and 23-463, are yours. Is that correct?
That's correct, Commissioner and Chair. Commissioners Dana Hardy with Hinkle Shaner on behalf of Targa Northern Delaware LLC.
Okay. Let's start with, and I believe the only other party relevant to it is the OCD. Is that correct? For those cases?
Yes,
That's
Mr. Chair,
correct.
this is Jesse Tremaine for the Oil Conservation Division.
Okay. case number, let's start with case number 14720. Just stating for the record, this looks like just a status report required for the prior order. Is there any commission action or other things required of the commission beyond just a referral of the data to OCD for review?
Mr. Chair, in accordance with paragraph 2D of Order R 13507D, we are presenting the updated modeling and data in relation to the order's requirements regarding plugging of the government L #1 well.
Okay.
And we are planning to request that that requirement be eliminated from the order, the requirement that the well be plugged, in accordance with paragraph 2D of that order.
Okay. So that's basically a request of modification of that paragraph then, just for clarity?
For clarity, actually, paragraph 2D states that after we submit this data and model, we can request that the commission eliminate the government LCOM #1 replugging requirement.
Okay.
So that's what we're requesting. And we are prepared to, we have a presentation regarding that data that we're here to provide the commission.
Okay. OCD, does the OCD have a, Mr. Tremaine, does OCD have a position on this request?
Not until after review of the presentation and consultation with the technical staff.
Sorry, Mr. Tremaine, did you have something else? Yeah.
That was it. Thank you.
Ms. Hardy, has the presentation been provided, or is that something that you would intend to present at the commission's pleasure? I'm just wondering if the OCC's had a chance to review it, and if a more efficient setup would be for the presentation to be submitted so we could just have it, tee it up for the next hearing, and be prepared to just resolve it then.
Mr. Chair, we did file the presentation with the commission initially in November, and then we provided an updated version at the end of March. And I think our preference would be, if it's acceptable to the commission, that we go through it today. I think Dr. David Tu is here from New Mexico Tech to review the data, if that'd be helpful for the commission.
I'm looking at my fellow commissioners, and also noting for the record, Commissioner Mpoma reported that he worked on AGI #1, so has recused himself from consideration of this matter. So Commissioner Bloom, would it be helpful to hear the presentation today? So then we can tee it up for decision at the next one? Or do we want to?
I'd rather get the, Mr. Chairman, I'd rather get that information ahead of time, review it, and then hear it.
Okay.
Thank you, please.
Okay. And I think we'd like, Mr. Tremaine, am I understanding your position that you have not gotten feedback from OCD yet on the presentation or the request?
Essentially, Mr. Chair, yes. I have talked with the division about this case at some length, but my understanding was today was for a status conference, so I may have simply misunderstood, but I thought this was going to be presented at a later date after OCD had reviewed that material. So my understanding is that the division's been in contact with Targa, but we were not expecting a hearing to occur today.
Okay. Would the parties be opposed to setting this for, presentation and hearing at the next meeting, which is, Maureen, on May 9th? No, 11th. On May 11th, would the parties be prepared to proceed?
That's fine with Targa, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go through all of these at once and then we can kind of just wrap it up in bulk. Anything else on 14-720? Otherwise, I'd like to move to case number 23463.
I don't have anything further on 14720.
Ms. Hardy, can you please just give us a kind of high-level overview on 23463, where it stands with respects to the parties, and in particular, Targa's compliance with or ability to comply with any applicable notice requirements in your summary associated with the application?
Sure. Targa submitted its C-108 on February 20th, 2023, seeking authorization to drill and operate the Red Hills AGI well number 3 at Targa's natural gas processing facility in Lee County. Due to circumstances involving Targa's other AGI wells at the facility, Targa has an imminent need to commence injection into its AGI number 3. Targa's AGI number 1, which is the subject of the case we were just discussing, 14720, has limited injection capacity. And with respect to Targa's Red Hills AGI number 2, which it was drilling under order number R20916H, completion of that well has been postponed due to technical complications encountered within the Cherry Canyon Formation. And as a result, Targa has filed a C-103 to temporarily abandon that well and submitted to the commission an administrative request to extend the deadline to commence injection into AGI number 3 until October 2024. So because AGI 1 has limited injection capacity and Targa's ability to complete AGI 2 has been delayed, Targa needs the injection capacity of AGI 3 to serve the facility. Otherwise, customers who rely on the wells will be required to shut in or alternatively to vent or flare natural gas, resulting in waste and violating correlative rights. So Targa, in essence, has an urgent need to commence injection into the AGI 3 and request that the commission set a hearing on the C-108 as soon as possible, either on a special hearing date or on the May docket. And once we have that hearing date, we will send out the hearing notices. We haven't sent them yet to the parties because we need a hearing date to do that. So we would need notice of the hearing to go out 20 days before the date that's selected. And we are prepared to send them out as soon as we have the date.
Mr. Tremaine, what's OCD's position on status of the case, readiness to proceed, hearing timing?
The division is reviewing the technical information and does not oppose the extension of injection authority deadline. And I think this also would work for the 5/11 hearing date.
Just quick question for the record. My understanding was that AGI 3 was new, and that is the extension for AGI 2? Is there an existing approval for AGI 3? I thought it was a net new well, Ms. Hardy.
You're correct, Mr. Chair. AGI 3 is a new well, and AGI 2 is the well for which Targa has submitted an administrative extension request.
Got it. Okay. I'll look to my fellow commissioners. Do you have any questions about the application or any concerns with setting this? I mean, looking at the notice requirements under the rules, I think the February 11th date's appropriate, because even if you set a special date, it would only be a kind of barely a week before it. But any concerns or questions about the application, or otherwise, are we comfortable setting it for but before I schedule it for a February the 11th hearing?
May 11th.
May 11th, not February 11th, May 11th.
Mr. Chair, no, I think we could do this on May 11th. Absolutely.
And when do we get the packet to review?
We can start distributing that information. We have the packet that was submitted in other pieces, so we can distribute those materials quickly in addition to anything else provided, kind of consistent with the filing deadlines and things like that.
Okay, I don't have any problem.
Okay. All right, let the record reflect, we're setting 23463 also for the February 11th. May 11th. I don't know why I'm stuck on February. The May 11th hearing. Any other comments or questions on that application?
Nothing further from Targa. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Hardy, correct me here, but I believe 2329 or 23294 and 23464 also yours? Or do I have that incorrect?
That's correct. And if we could take about a 5-minute break, just so I can switch computers and
Yes,
what I'm doing.
100%.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll be quick.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Still in February because of the session and the last months, the 60 days,
Yes.
that hole in your life.
Blocked it out.
Right. Artie, I see you've come back on. Oh, we still don't have audio there. You're muted.
Sweet.
Let's give one more check. There was a pretty wicked reverb.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah,
We're
Better.
turning off the other connection.
okay.
Okay. Is
There
that
we go.
better?
That's perfect.
Sorry about this. We had a technical glitch with my computer.
No worries. Kick it off with the same question. Can you, and actually, rather than going through them individually, at least my read of the two requests is they are interrelated, 23294 and 23464. Can you just walk us through again, my initial review is kind of interrelated requests, timing, sort of other pieces?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. We're having technical difficulties. You're correct, Mr. Chair. These requests are interrelated. In case 23294, we've requested an extension of 6 months to commence injection into the well. And in case 23464, we've requested an extension of the injection deadline of 24 months from the date of the amended order, as well as approval of an amended C-108 that includes a new well location and well design. So if the 24-month extension were to be granted, the 6-month extension would no longer be necessary. And I do have here today, we are prepared to present a short presentation from Salt Creek on the status of the well and where we are today and the reasons for the request, if that would be helpful.
I think if you could just give us a high-level summary, just so for purposes of assessing status of the cases and then scheduling them for hearing, that would be helpful.
Sure. So the status is that there were complications drilling the AGI #1, and as a result of those complications, Salt Creek has submitted an amended C-108 that changes the proposed well design and the well location. But those are the only changes that are proposed. So we're asking for approval of those. And as a result of needing to make those changes, we've included an extension of the injection deadline for 24 months from the date of the amended order. And we would like a hearing as soon as possible on this well. A hearing date's needed to provide clarity to Salt Creek on their commercial plans and to proceed with the well.
And so I guess my only question then is, understand the ask for an immediate hearing date, but why the longer request on the extension of time? Just out of curiosity.
The 24-month extension.
Yeah.
The request was extended due to really the needing to start the well over and move the location. They had sidetracked the original well and made several efforts to complete it, but weren't able to do that. So as a result of those changes, additional time is necessary to drill and complete.
Noise.
And then as you said at the outset, sort of commission action on 23464, if we were to grant the 24-month extension and in addition to the amended C-108, that would essentially moot the relief requested by 23294.
That's correct.
I'm going to look to Mr. Tremaine. Does the OCD have a position on the applications, and and I guess more relevantly, a position on timing of when those applications, when it would be ready to participate in a hearing on those applications?
Sure, Mr. Chair, I will try to briefly summarize both simultaneously since they're interrelated. OCD has had extended discussions with Salt Creek about the AGI number 1 and has had ongoing communications with them about the need to restart the well with the new C108, new technical specs, and a new surface location, minor change to the surface location. So based on those ongoing discussions, OCD does not have any objection to the extension of the injection authority presented in 23294. In terms of case 23464, the division has received the updated application and continues to review those technical updates. I do expect to present for the division some questions at the merits hearing on this, kind of clarifying some open questions about the feasibility of the well and the exact surface location. So we don't have a final position on that application today because OCD does have some pending questions, and we will continue to consult with Salt Creek during that process, so we may be able to resolve some of those outstanding questions in advance of the hearing. I think that this is another one that could be set for May 11th.
Ms. Hardy, I'm assuming Salt Creek's prepared to issue any required notices in advance of the May 11th hearing?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
All right, to tie up all of these in a bow into reflection of the record, and looking at my commissioners, we've set all of these for, we've set cases, and I'm going to run through them in order so you can just tie it off with a closing motion. But we have set all of the cases on the agenda today for status conferences for hearing on the May 11th standing hearing date. We're going to move through the cases in the following order. This is for the benefit of the parties and other preparations. 14-720 will go first. 23463 will go second. 23464 will go third. And then I think actually, sorry, scratch that. My proposal will be 23464 will go. And as part of that, they should cover any issues related to 23294 at the same time. I didn't hear anything in the presentation that otherwise we'll just issue a scheduling order with the standard pre-filing deadlines as specified in our rules. If my commissioners are comfortable with that, can I get a motion to approve that schedule?
Mr. Chair, one question. Do we think we can cover all of these in that one day, or might we be looking at a 2-day hearing? I typically reserve both the Thursday and Friday for these meetings.
That's a reasonably heavy docket. We also have an enforcement status report from the OCD coming in prior. So I would anticipate a potential spillover for kind of planning and administrative purposes that this will be May 11th, May 12th as a possibility. Does that work for you, Commissioner Mpoma?
It works.
Okay.
Then, Mr. Chairman, I would move to adopt the proposed order.
Second.
Commissioner Mpoma,
Approved.
Commissioner Bloom,
Approve.
let the record reflect, Commissioner Fuge also approved. With that, I think we can move on to the next order of business unless parties have any other issues to raise in the status conference.
Nothing further from Salt Creek. Thank you very much for your time today.
Nothing further from the OCD. Thank you.
All right, moving through the next item that was just listed on the agenda, adjudications. We had some on the docket there. As everyone saw, cases 21744, 22018, and 22019 were continued for hearing at the request of the parties till the June 8th, 2023 OCC hearing. I'm going to look around to the commissioners. Do we have any other business to discuss today?
Not from my side.
Commissioner Bloom?
No.
Our next meeting will be May 11th, 2023. Will likely be May 11th and May 12th, given that we set 4 cases for hearing. So it'll be the 11th and 12th. And as I said at the top of the meeting, please look for the meeting announcement for details in terms of meeting location and other logistics. Hearing no other business and seeing no other hands raised, I am going to adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone, and we will see some of these folks next week for what will be, or next month for what will be a reasonably long hearing. Thank you very much.